Hey friends, Justin here with a little bit of a video rant or video essay about the Ice Cube movie Friday. So I just watched it and then I watched some YouTube reactors react to it and kind of picked up on some interesting things this time that I wanted to talk about. And I think Friday is an interesting commentary on class, American society, and the black experience, told through the lens of comedy. And I want to tell you a little bit about how I came to that conclusion. Um, the whole premise of the movie, and let's talk a little bit about the filming itself. So, the camera movement, you go across the street in the neighborhood and you're in another scene in the movie. It creates an ecosystem within this particular area, and that was really really effective in the first film, to show that these people are kind of living in their own microcosm, um, and not a part of larger society. So the premise of the movie is our lead Craig is fired on his day off. The man, or the powers that be, said that they saw him on film stealing some boxes, and he's resigned to the fact that there is no fairness in this kind of society. When those above say that those below are guilty, they're guilty. And he's built up, and it's part of Ice Cube's character, but he was really the perfect person to play this role because the environment is so rich and there is stimuli coming from every direction. He's a really stoic character, and that stoicism comes from constantly being bombarded with anxiety, with trauma, with all of the things that are part of the black experience, and it causes you to become hard and tough. He was 22 or 23 years old, and he, it looked like a Marine. And that's a common part of the black experience. What triggered this for me was the name of what triggered this video essay, and my thoughts about the class system is the genius naming of one of the characters, and that's Big Worm. So Big Worm is the character in the film that Smokey, owes money to. He's kind of a big dealer or a big player in town. And his name is very, very interesting when you think about them being in their own closed off ecosystem, like we talked about. Big Worm is the person in that ecosystem that has the most resources. The big worm is the person, he's got the ice cream truck, he's got, all these different things going on. He's the one with all of the resources in that community, or with the power. And he's also the person that gives chances, unlike Debo. He's constantly, even though he's got a tough persona, he's constantly the one that's saying, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm coming back tomorrow. And that's hidden in his tough language, but he is the big worm in that society. And that's poignant when you think about, the fact that the society is ghettoized and it's closed off from the larger society. The next thing that struck me this time that was only funny before, and that's A Woman's Worth in Society with the by Felicia. Ice Cube wrote this script, from life experience, from growing up in South Central Los Angeles and seeing characters like this. And instead of anyone in the society, anyone in this group, trying to help Felicia, she was thrown away. just kind of cast aside in society, and it's a very tragic story, but it is because the people in that small microcosm have so few resources themselves that they're not that far removed from Felicia's situation that they don't see it as this person needs immediate help. And that really struck me this time, that everyone is kind of teetering on the edge, kind of holding on to what they have, that they don't see the trauma around them, and that is the Black experience. Another theme that stood out to me was robbing Peter to pay Paul, taking from one person to give to the other, and that being considered victory. We're rooting for our main characters to steal from one person in order to pay off another, because the society we've accepted, even those that are watching the movie, that aren't a part of the Black experience necessarily, are watching the movie realizing that there is nowhere else to get resources. So we're rooting for these characters to steal in order to pay off another, shady character, which in this case is one of the heroes of the story, Big Worm. And lastly, and a minor theme is just drug use and the use of numbing in order to get through the trauma and the day-to-day barrage of stimuli that was going on in that society. Our main character is constantly receiving messages that you're less than. That's the whole premise of this Friday. You got fired on your day off. You don't have any peace in this world. When you relax yourself and think that you can take it easy, that's when the world is going to attack you, and that's where your persona comes from. Had it been written and shot by a different filmmaker, I don't think it would be so notable that someone that was 19 or 20 wrote this. And I just watched an interview with John Witherspoon a few minutes ago, and he commented on how easy it was, because they had such a great script, to ad-lib and to add humor and to do what we do with traumatic experiences, and that's laugh and make jokes and make fun of one another to kind of alleviate some of the levity. And I just really thought that this was an interesting look. It's an interesting glimpse into the experience of a Black male. The highs, the lows, the morality, and just trying to hold on. The desire to have a decent job, and not be constantly undercut by these messages that you stole or you're less than, and that unfortunately is a common part of our experience. So instead of being able to take frustration out on the actual perpetrators, the violence is within the walls of the society, of the ghetto that you're in. Chris Tucker is a genius comedian. I think Ice Cube is genius in his stoicism in this role, because it's so layered. If you really think about all of the things that we've discussed, Chris Tucker is amazing. John Witherspoon, Tiny Lister. There are so many amazing comedians in this movie, and I think you need that to tell a tragic story in a compelling way. This film, it could be, when you think about Debo and just the tragic nature of society, this could be a horror film. It could be a comedy. It can be coming of age. So I really praise the brilliance of Ice Cube's Friday. It was shot for $2 million and grossed over 300. And if you haven't watched it for the sake of good filmmaking, give it another chance and kind of think about some of the class and society concepts that we're talking about, and see if you have a different experience with it. What do you think about the movie Friday? Have you seen it? Is it one of your faves? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more movie and TV related content. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.